The American dream was born on the banks of the James River. Lured by the promise of a better life, in 1607, a band of adventurers established the first enduring English settlement in the New World, Jamestown. By 1620, the year the Pilgrims reached Plymouth, much of the James River basin, from the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay to within 20 miles of the site of modern Richmond, had been settled by the English under the sponsorship of the Virginia Company. The year before, a governmental body composed of men elected from the scattered settlements of Virginia had met for the first time on Jamestown Island. This assembly was the first expression of English representative government in North America. Important as these accomplishments were, the written records pertaining to them are scarce, ambiguous, and sometimes conflicting. Maps of questionable accuracy, a few letters and official reports, published accounts written by interested parties, most famous among them John Smith, his account including the dubious tale of his own dramatic rescue by the Indian maiden Pocahontas. Still, certain facts can be gleaned from these records. The colony's early history was evidently a troubled one, beginning with an alleged mutiny during the crossing from England, blamed on John Smith, and continuing through many struggles for power and incidents of civil unrest. The colony faced other trials and hardships as well, including a major battle with the local Indians within weeks of arrival, an unfamiliar semi-tropical climate, lack of fresh water, meager and spoiled food, drought, and accidents. The Virginia Company's goals, to find a route to the Orient, convert the New World natives to Christianity, find gold, and export raw and manufactured goods, were at best only slightly fulfilled. The hoped-for precious minerals and short all-water route to the riches of the Orient were never found. The native population was far from willing to embrace the Church of England, and initial manufacturing projects did not prove lucrative. Those early years also witnessed periods of renovation, repopulation, and restructuring of the colony. The introduction of Caribbean tobacco by John Rolfe in 1613 did at last establish a cash crop that helped ensure the survival of the Virginia colony, although the success of hinterland plantations depleted the Jamestown population. A 1622 Indian revolt and the resulting death of nearly 350 colonists led to the end of the Virginia Company's rule, as Jamestown itself became a royal colony. The documentary evidence of the precariousness of life in early Jamestown and of the gap between the founders' intentions and the colony's achievements led to a story of Jamestown that emphasized its shortcomings. The adventurers who ventured capital lost it. Most of the settlers who ventured their lives lost them. And so did most of the Indians who came near them. Measured by any of the objectives announced for it, the colony failed. In this interpretation, the colony's failure was ascribed to poor planning by the sponsoring Virginia Company, the incompetence or laziness of the colonists, qualities supposedly explained by the upper-class origin of half of the original settlers, and mistaken cultural assumptions about the Indians. This story, which continues to be told, has been held responsible for the diminished importance of Jamestown itself in American popular consciousness. A comprehensive textbook survey concluded that textbooks downplay Jamestown because it was a disaster. To call Jamestown a failure, let alone a disaster, is to oversimplify. Even the scanty documents, with their record of the colony's important firsts, its periods of thriving, and the energy and intelligence unceasingly invested in it, hint at a more complex story. The assertion of the textbook survey is correct to this extent, however. As the complex actuality of the early Jamestown experience faded with time, the importance of Jamestown to American history faded too. Significant memories, significant truths were lost, seemingly forever. My own engagement with Jamestown began over 4 decades ago, far from Virginia. An undergraduate at Ohio's Baldwin Wallace College, I decided to cheer myself up one gray March day by reading about Virginia, where I had heard that the sun usually shone and that American colonial history, second only to football as a passion in my life, was considered a serious subject.